You know, Bracken Bat Cave is very important, but so are all our public lands spread throughout the United States. You know, nearly 40% of America is public lands, and they're truly an American treasure. They provide us our natural resources to keep America going, and they also give Americans a place to fish and hunt, hike, mountain bike, explore. And the most important thing and the best thing about public lands is that they belong to you. Tonight we're honored to have Forest Service Chief Tom Tidwell share a message. Let's see our Chief Tidwell.
Good evening. I'm Tom Tidwell, Chief of the U.S. Forest Service. I'm happy to welcome you to this live broadcast from Bracken Cave in Texas. Tonight you'll have the opportunity to see millions of Mexican free-tailed bats emerge from the cave to hunt for insects. You'll also learn more about bats, their value in our lives, and the danger that we might lose them. But first, a little about the Forest Service. We manage 155 national forests and grasslands across the United States. These lands cover an area even larger than Texas. They belong to all Americans. They are yours to use and enjoy in many different ways. For clean water, outdoor recreation, habitat for wildlife, including for bats, and much, much more. Healthy bats need healthy habitats. Your public lands, the national forest and grasslands, the national wildlife refuges, the national and state parks, all these lands provide important habitat for Americans' bats. To better understand the needs of bats, to better meet their needs, the Forest Service works with many different partners, including the National Park Service, the Bureau of Land Management, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. We also work with groups that are dedicated to bats, like Bat Conservation International and the Organization for Bat Conservation. So why are bats important? Because they help keep our ecosystems in balance by eating so many insects. Bats consume tons of forest and agricultural pests each year. For farmers alone, bats save up to $57 billion a year by keeping insect populations in check. Bats also spread seeds and pollen, helping new plants and forests to grow, especially in tropical areas. They recycle nutrients from forests to caves. They're also food for a variety of animals themselves, and they serve as important indicators of ecosystem health. Bats are also fascinating animals. People come from all over the world to places like Bracken Cave just to see bats come out at night. You can also go to community bat festivals all over the country. You know, it's hard to imagine a summer night sky without bats flittering around at dusk. Yet bats face growing threats, especially in the eastern United States. Bats are rapidly losing habitat, and many are killed each year by pesticides. One of the main threats facing bats is a deadly fungus called white-nose syndrome. This fungus is destroying entire populations of hibernating bats each winter. All of us can play a role in the future of bats, and you can start right here by learning more about bats and by becoming a bat champion. Tonight you'll learn from bat biologists about the threats to bats and what you can do to help bats thrive. I hope you enjoy your visit to Bracken Cave. I hope it inspires you to help bats, whether on your neighboring public lands or in your own community, maybe even in your own backyard.